Hey, Jeffrey Sachs is back at it again. You know, this is what he was saying back in May of 2022. This is what Jeffrey Sachs was saying back in May of 2022.
We keep reading in the mainstream media, Putin's losing, Putin's losing. I'm not so sure if you listen to a little bit wider media. Russia is taking a lot of territory. It is taking a lot of territory, not only in the Donbass, but in the northern coast of the Black Sea. Is this really working? This defeat Putin, is it really working? What we know is it doesn't quite seem to be working right now. What we saw at Mariupol, a disaster, cruel, and a defeat and surrender of a major fighting force of Ukraine. And I just worry that we're on a track that doesn't make sense for Ukraine first, doesn't make sense in general, is dangerous if we just escalate and escalate in a nuclear weapon environment. Oh, we're told, don't worry about that. I have to tell you, I worry day and night about that. How can you not worry about that? How many times have we come to the edge of the abyss and it could happen again? So of course I worry about that. So I want to see the parties back at the negotiating table. I want the United States to stand up and say, we understand NATO's not enlarging. That's not a gift to Putin. That is a prudent measure for U.S. security, European security, Ukrainian security, Russian security, world security. The idea that that's some gift is wrong. We should never have desired to enlarge NATO into the Black Sea region.
So who is Jeffrey Sachs? He's an American economist, academic, public policy analyst, and former director of the Earth Institute at Columbia University, where he holds the title of university professor. He is known as an expert on sustainable development, economic development, and the fight against poverty. He was also the chair of the Lancet Study Group on the origins of the COVID-19 virus, and he said it came from a U.S. biolab.
Oh, that's the same guy.
That's the same guy.
Oh.
He was also the guy who told the truth about Syria on Morning Joe Ball, which backed up what Tulsi was saying at the time, and they couldn't believe, blew their minds. And so this guy's a big truth teller.
Why is he allowed to do that?
They don't let him do it often, believe me. And so, but no, he won't come on our show. It's funny. By the way, remember when the Zelensky clip where Zelensky explains that he was told to say that they want to join NATO, but he was told also, we're not going to let you join NATO, but we want you to say it publicly that that you want to join NATO. So that was all for nothing.
It was to specifically have a war with them.
Yeah, so they could have a war. That's what it was for. Hey, I just came up for the title for that Ben Stiller Zelensky movie, All for Nothing. How about that? Isn't that nice?
Just Ben Stiller in a small sleeve T-shirt.
Very tight. Ukraine and NATO need to vow that Ukraine will never be a part of NATO. Russia needs to leave, and there must be a guarantee of neutral Ukraine. We need a negotiated peace now. That's what he's been saying, right? And so here's he's saying it still. Here's August 14th. This is from August 14. Jeffrey. By the way, if they're going to do that thing he was saying back in May, which what we were saying back in May, that Ukraine has to remain neutral and they can't join NATO, that's how it's going to end. We've known that's how it was going to end forever. That is how it's going to end. And here he is. He's going to say it again.
What is absolutely remarkable is that at the end of March, negotiations were advancing for a neutral Ukraine and for an end of the war. And then Ukraine walked away from the negotiating table at the end of March. And the reason is that the UK and the US pressed them. You can win on the battlefield. You don't have to negotiate non-enlargement of NATO. This was a big mistake. My point is simply that we need this war to end with Russia leaving Ukraine and NATO saying we're not going to fill in the void. Ukraine is going to be neutral. And this is how we could also save the world economy as well as saving Ukraine. It's very straightforward. Russia needs to leave, but the United States doesn't need to fill in afterwards. That's the basic point.
So that's being said on CNN, which that's why that's a big deal. And by the way, it's hilarious that this guy's back on television. If you know anything about him, look it up. It's hilarious. But anyway, if I was caught walking around Central Park with a rope around my balls.
Is that what it was?
Isn't that the guy?
He lynched his own balls in the park?
That's the guy. Anyway, we're supposed to overlook it, so I will. But anyway, look up this guy. Look up.
I had no. I've seen that guy for years.
Does he
still have hilarious, like, classic British teeth, or did he?
I think he has. I don't know, but could you look up that guy and put in CNN anchor Central Park genitalia?
He's always so excited and positive, so I just imagine bumping into him.
I think he was smoking the crack or something. Anyway, there you go. There's Jeffrey Sachs. So he's telling you this is how it's going to end. We all know it's going to. That's what he was saying. And so now, guess what? He's confirming that Ukraine has walked away from the negotiations. Why? Because he was told to by NATO. That's what he also confirmed. So this could have all been over before it ever started. But exactly as we predicted on the show, they're using Ukraine as cannon fodder for a proxy war with the United States, the West, European Union, and NATO. And those people don't give a, the United States, the military-industrial complex, couldn't give a crap about the people in Ukraine. They don't care if they get slaughtered, because they are.
What was the official reason that they couldn't just say it's a neutral territory? Did you like? I've never heard like a good reason why that's so not. Ukraine said we're not going to join NATO when it's a neutral territory. What was the objectionable official reason on our side to that?
We wanted them to join.
Oh, we also didn't want them to join.
But we also were secretly saying we're never going to let you join. Right? I know. We should have never expanded NATO after East and West Germany were reunified, and we kept doing it.
So look all the good it's done.
Yeah. Hey, we're coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Detroit, Los Angeles, Spokane, Tacoma, Denver. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all our tickets for all our live shows. See you there.